Poppy Playtime, probably one of the most known horror game right now of all time. Or not all time, but you get the point. Well, I'm back with the PNG stuff. I felt like might as well do something for once in life. Of course, know the main mechanic of Poppy Playtime being the Grabpack, which is a versatile hand mechanic that allows you to grab stuff and it's mostly used for hand scanning and charging, but also it gets upgraded later on in the chapters. The Grabpack 2.0, the other hands, and I might as well do this as a ranking tier list on how much I like the hands, how much they're utilized, and how meaningful they are to the story. So this will be a Poppy Playtime, Grabpack hands, tier list worst to best. Okay, a few things before anything. One, this is all my opinion. Tell your opinion in the comments. But I swear to God, don't disrespect my opinion. If you're gonna be rude in if you're gonna say like, oh, his hands is better than this, but he shouldn't be ranked this low, just leave the video at this point. Or at least respectfully tell me. Two, this is probably gonna be a long one. Probably gonna shorten this out to like 10 minutes or at least 15. So I hope you guys enjoyed this PNG stuff again. Hallelujah! Why did I say that at the end? The red hand. Now, before you hate me on this, hear me out. This hand is pretty much just another blue hand, but without the it stayed with this old look. I feel like this hand is kind of nothing. You see this in chapter 1 after completing getting the 4 little charges, but there is almost little to nothing special about it. And vroom! And vroom! Oh, hi. Sorry, I had to go take my imaginary car. The main problem with this hand for me is that it's just mostly useless, and it's basically was just the worst blue hand. Say what you want about the blue hand. At least that hand had it stayed with us for almost every chapter. Look, it's iconic. It's lovable. The color is Huggy, probably the most iconic character in the game. This is just an insulting nothing to me. Look, and yeah, Chum this is red. Chum Chomkins is nothing near as Huggy, and Chum barely appears in chapter 5. Oh, I'm sorry for spoilers ahead. This really is just an abysmal hand. It has little to no uses. It has a similar use to the blue hand. Oh, the hand is kind of nothing now. It's pretty much just an Omni hand without the cool look. And yeah, I think I'd just rather have the blue hand. Oh, right. Speaking of the blue hand, the blue hand. This hand is okay. Let me get the good out of the way. This hand still with us for a majority of the chapters, and I like it for that. It's iconic again, and I like it that it's the same color as the most iconic character himself. Now, with that out of the way, let's turn it into a bit of the more why it's this low on the list. And it kind of runs to the same problem what the red hand does, just slightly better. The blue hand has the same amount of utilization as the red hand. It's pretty much just a basic hand scanner wire puzzle like hand, which of course again is in the first chapter, but still, I feel like this hand has something special about it, just more than what the red hand ever did. But still, I feel like the other hands are more unique, more meaningful, and just more likably design-wise better as well. So there's not much I can really say about this hand, other than the fact that it's iconic. But I will say though, having it was a pretty joyful ride at least. Now let's get into the next ones. So now that with the first 2 out of the way, let's go with the main 6. The purple hand, aka the jump hand. So this hand's mostly main purpose is to jump like obstacles in chapter 3 and 4. And it's probably the best looking hand in the entire franchise. Most likely, debatably in my opinion, better than the Omni hand. Or not better, but looks better in the looks. Now, Here's where it kind of runs to a bad wall. Now, this hand's issue is one thing. It has one thing in house. It's utilization. You see, after chapter 4, I mean 3, this hand pretty much became useless. Like, when was the last time you physically used this hand? Yeah, back in like chapter 4. We used it like about 7 times there, and boom, it's gone. Like, this hand has to be the one of the most poorly utilized hands of the whole time. If not probably the least used at all. I'm not even joking. This hand is so useless at this point. It had its good time when in the first chapter 3, but after that it just constantly kept like chapter 4 barely even used unless you like it already more than the other hands. And then there's just another problem it has is just the other 5 hands are cooler and not cooler with design, but they're just cooler, more fun to use. And it's kind of obsolete now, so now it's taken. And it feels like that's its problems. It lacks utilization. It lacks a purpose other than jumping, but that's good enough. It's like Mom fails to like balance out using everything it does. And it's not the first time they've done that. Example, I'm not even gonna say it. A piano dinosaur got destroyed immediately, like when you just introduced. I don't get it, but how did you manage to make a hand this badly utilized compared to a character? Yes, I'm pretty much disappointed with that. But it's definitely the coolest hand of the whole game. Now, I definitely give it at least an 8 out of 10 in terms of how it looks. A 4 out of 10 is utilization. And at least a 6 out of it some initial, like how it's first introduced. But that's pretty much all I can say about it. Moving on. Those who green hand, what is up with the earlier chapters having the worst hands? A positive thinking. This hand, it was received in chapter 2, and it's supposed to hold electricity for about 10 seconds. It's a cool hand when you had first got it. And in chapter 2, I did enjoy it, especially in chapter 2 when you had to use it with catnap and stuff and Mr. Light. Well, but it also lacks, in fact, compared to the purple hand, it just looks just kind of basic. But again, this was the second chapter, so I can understand that being the case. But again, this is still a pretty good hand, but I think it's just because if one of the other hands, newer hands, didn't exist, this would probably be a lot higher than this. Because it was just because this next one, the other hand, is pretty much this, but better. But while I don't think this hand is bad, it's not my favorite hand. Green is a good color. It's just, it has everything good about it. It's designed basic, but it's good enough. I like how it's utilized a lot, especially when it had it. And it's just pretty good introduced. Yeah. But it's just, again, the other hands are more unique, more fun, and we're getting close to the top 4. So, let me give some stuff about it. I did like, of course, the time we've had it, but I kind of felt like some of the puzzles in Chapter 2 specifically and 3 felt a bit weird and off pace, besides the ones we have to use it to, like, escape. I mean, it's only used in Chapter 2. I would personally give this hand a 7 out of 10 as to design, a 9 out of 10 as to utilization, unlike the purple hand, which was badly utilized, and an 8 introduction. I felt like it was introduced. Though one of the other hands are just this but better, so moving on with life, rest in peace, Green Hand. We're starting off the top 4. We have the Pressure Hand. The hand is received in Chapter 5 for, building up pressure by holding the right click button for a bit, and there's a little bar on top. I feel like this is one of the most unique hands of the whole game. And compared to the 2 new hands we get in Chapters 5, I think this is still the worst of the 2, simply because the other one has been better and more unique about it. But this hand is still a really good hand compared to the other chap. Don't forget, it looks really good. It's a little bit understandably dusky. But again, I like how we use it a lot in Chapter 5. There's not really any problems about it. I just think the puzzles used for it can be very irritating at times. And simply that's a flaw with Chapter 5 in general. But it's a great hand. I can understand if you hate it or not. Some of the puzzles, again, used with it is irritating. And I'm not joking. I played the entirety of Chapter 5, and it took me about, 10 hours to beat. That is not a joke. And I didn't watch anybody else play it, which of course made it a pain in the neck to do. But this hand is still in my top 4. I just think it was hard switching it with the next hand. But again, the last 3 hands are pretty much interchangeable. But there's one but if you like this hand, it's your choice. I give it a 10 out of 10 its design, a 10 out of 10 its utilization, but its introduction, I'd also say about like a solid 6. I didn't really think it was a decent one, but I think it was good enough. Now, on to the final 3 hands left. In third place, taking bronze medal, is the Omni Hand. Now, you might be wondering, but wait, the Omni Hand is just just a hand scanning machine, and didn't you dislike those for being basic and stuff? So why is it this high? Well, it's simply because it's probably the most important hand in the entire franchise, and not just that. It's also the only reason you're able to enter any further plus into the factory, aka the labs and stuff. Without it, you thought we would be where we are now? No. Is it because it's poorly utilized? No. Is it hyped up just to get taken away in the next chapter? It's terribly utilized? Yes. This time I'm not really gonna give it a rating of text. I'm just gonna give it a 10 in its design. Oh no, I mean 9 in design. A solid 10 in its introduction though. And a last itty bitty solid 7 in its utilization. Moving on to the last 2, which I took a long time to decide. Striking in at number 2 is the flare hand, aka the weapon / orange hand. I love this hand. This hand, it's the full thing to go up on flare hand. Damn it. So it's also used for like a flashlight in chapter 3, and it made chapter 3 a lot easier, especially in the catnap boss fight. And it had a new mechanic in chapter 4, where you can blow stuff up, and it's also pretty funny in the BHS, you can blow your stuff up and die. Now, it doesn't take top 1 for one reason only. I feel like chapter 4 downgraded it. It's not no in chapter 4 and 5. It's no longer able to stick to walls or have as much light brightness as it die a bit. That's such an unnecessary upgrade. It's like, yes, we have a flashlight now. It's kind of stupid. Like, why would you make probably the best hand in the game? Could have been the best hand in the game. Just one of the worst. But again, if it weren't for how good it was when it was in chapter 3, and how bad it was in chapter 4, either would have been higher or lower. But this next hand has 3 different unique stuff that makes it better than this hand. And I think we all know what it is. Time to get to the number 1 spot. Now, I probably got you guys wondering, what could possibly be the number 1 hand? What could be better than the flare hand, the pressure hand, the omni hand, and every hand we've had so far? Well, that hand is the yellow / conductive hand. So this hand is pretty much reminds me of one thing only. Avatar. And that's a high goal to activate. Because it has 3 different things about it. It can hold fire, ice, and ground / no, electricity, I bet. No, they don't think electricity is even an avatar. No, Earth is, but it has the same color as Earth. But this hand is by far the best hand. I like it. And yellow is a million times better than every color we've had so far. Yes, yeah, but it definitely not better. It doesn't look better than like the pressure or / the purple hand. But it definitely has the most unique and the best mechanic about it. And man, this hand deserves so much better. Oh right, it already did get better from chapter 5. I hope this hand doesn't get taken away the next chapter, but I really love this hand. It has everything good about every hand. It's perfectly utilized. It has a good design. It's unique. It's different compared to the other hands. It's not a basic takeaway model. And there is no way to convince me that this hand is not the best hand we've had so far. That is why it is by far my number one. It's absolutely perfect. Yes, speaking of the problems, I still love this franchise. Yeah, even with all its utilizations being absolutely horrendous at times, and then it's a reason why it's probably my favorite horror game so far. Even though if it's losing a bit of the horror it had. But Lons, what's your rating in the what's your rating at the hands? Let me know down in the comments below. Respectfully. And I'll see you all in the next edit or anything. Sayonara, this is Ray, leaving. See you later, my little squirrel crew, buddies. That sounds so wrong, shut up.